Hey delightful makers, I'm Lynn Christensen with Emerald Falls Quilts. And before I was a quilt pattern designer and teacher, I was a librarian and I wrote professional book reviews for School Library Journal and Library Media Connection. I thought it would be fun to bring that skill into my quilting world. So enjoy my latest review. In this video, I am going to be doing a book review for the Quilting Book, a step-by-step guide to patchwork and quilting by Christina West and Kacey Crutchfield. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. I actually purchased this book and will be putting it on my shelves. I feel like it is an excellent, excellent resource for quilters of all levels. So let me share with you some of my favorite parts in this book. So I want to show you the table of contents because it shows how this book is broken down. And I love that it is broken down in the types of tools that we use as quilters, the materials like fabric and batting, the different techniques that are then divided into, if you're just getting started, traditional, improv, foundation paper, hand piecing, English paper, applique, and then actual quilt top construction. And then it has finishing techniques like quilting and binding. And then it has a few projects so that you can practice the techniques that it goes over. There's also a block gallery at the end with some traditional blocks. I love how Kacey and Christina included this part of the book where they talk about how to use the book, what the techniques pages look like, what the project pages look like, useful sections. So this is a great start for this book. They also have a templates and online resources page, which I'm kind of keeping covered because you need to purchase the book in order to get access to the templates in the book. I will show you later one of the templates that I used. So love that Kacey and Christina included this section to help the readers navigate how they can use the book, because you probably would not want to read this book from cover to cover. So this is a great way that they showed you how to get the most out of this book. This is one of the pages in the tools section. The amount of information included in just this one page is astounding and very well done. There are tons of pictures, tons of descriptions. Beautiful job, very, very helpful and very, very useful. Loved this section on specialty rulers because it's really cool to see all the different rulers that maybe will help us become better quilters. This is a page from one of the sections on materials. So you can see, again, beautifully laid out, lots of information, great photos. This is all about batting. This is one of the pages on techniques. So this is the technique that I practiced with this book because curves are not something that I am incredibly proficient with. And I wanted to test it out and see how well the directions that they provide help me as a fairly new or fairly inexperienced person works with curves. So this has lots of great information on getting the curves ready, on lining them up, and then it continues here where they show you how to sew them and how to trim them. So again, so much information, so many different techniques. I can see myself coming to this again and again if there's a technique that I feel like I'm just kind of stuck on, or I don't remember how to do it, or maybe I just want a couple of extra ideas on how to do it better. I can just reach for this book instead of Googling and having to go through hundreds and hundreds of different posts. This gives me a lot of quick and easy information at my fingertips. Love, love, love that. And then finally, you have the projects. This is the sampler that actually has you practicing all the different techniques that they have shown you in the book. There are really great detailed instructions for their projects. And a lot of them are kind of smaller quilts, but they're really beautiful, really fun. Definitely lean more towards a modern aesthetic. So if you're not really a modern quilter, the projects may not appeal to you as much, but I'm not a modern quilter and I absolutely love this project, and I love getting to see how I could maybe work with curves and create something really pretty. There it is actually in the full format. So even if you're not a modern quilter, I think you would still find a project or two in here that you would really love. But for me, this book really isn't just about the projects. It's really about all of those amazing resources and techniques that it goes over. This is one of the pages for the classic quilt block gallery. So it kind of just gives you a bunch of different quilt blocks that are fairly traditional and how they could be constructed. It also gives you the page numbers so that you can go to those pages and learn the techniques needed to make those blocks, which is really cool. So if I wanted to make this mosaic, then I would need to go to page 85, page 86, and page 74 to construct those pieces to then create that block. So I love that. I love that you can see something here in the back and you could start here and be like, I want to make this block. And then you could just go through the book and just go to those pages and practice those techniques to make that block. I did want to show in the projects, they also do the same thing. So I'm going to go to that first one. So for this first project here, you can see right here the techniques used and the page numbers for those techniques. So if I am working on this block and I'm not really sure how to do these techniques, then I have the techniques listed here. So I'm going to show you what I worked on from this book. So with my book reviews, I always do either a project or one of the skills in the book to see how well written the instructions are for myself. And I try to pick something that I am not super skilled in so that I'm approaching it a little bit as a beginner or a confident beginner. So I did the curves, and the curve templates do come with, on a page like this, this is the quarter circle template. I decided to do the half circles, but they both came together and printed out together. So it was really nice having that, where the book isn't all bulky and full of patterns and templates. I don't have to take my book to a copier and try to copy while holding the book awkwardly. I just go to the website that they have curated and I can just print the template straight from there. So I made the half circle because I am fairly experienced with quarter circles, but I'm not very experienced with half circles. And here is my little half circle. I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. So these were the templates that I used that came from their templates page. I cut the templates out. I followed the instructions in the book on how to do a half circle technique, and this is what I got. So I feel like their instructions were very well written. It did help that I do have some curve and some sewing experience. I don't know if this is the book for you if you have never ever sewn before, but it is definitely a book, even if you are just a beginner quilter, to have as an excellent resource. I don't know if this is the book to have if you have never ever sewn or quilted before. My experience as a sewer did help me with my curves, but it is definitely a great book to have no matter what your skill level is. If you have some sewing and quilting experience, if you have a lot of sewing and quilting experience, there are so many cool techniques that we may not be proficient in all of them, but we still want to try them out. So 5 out of 5 stars for the Quilting Book. You should get your own copy today and put it on your shelf. You will find yourself reaching for it again and again. Now it's your turn. Go make something beautiful.